Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm your host here at the Crafting Sparrow YouTube channel. And today I bring you another show and tell episode for the month of April. I have surprisingly quite a bit to show you guys and a large variety as well. I've got knitting, crocheting, and cross stitching this time, and some big life news to talk about as well at the end, or maybe somewhere in between depending on what said life news does during this. It'll all make sense if you watch through, but yeah, welcome, hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. This is where I talk about what I've been crafting for the past month. Side note, this is not my usual place where I record, and my laundry is going off in the room next door, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. I would get up and go make sure that door is closed, but situation has it to where I probably shouldn't get up right now because, spoiler alert, I have a puppy behind me sleeping. And that is the live news. Wow, that took me literally a minute to spoil. I was going to surprise you guys by picking him up and showing it to you, but anyway, yes, I got a puppy, and I will show him to you at the end, or if he wakes up in the middle of the episode. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. Let's go ahead and get started because, yeah, I have surprisingly quite a few things to show you, even though I've had very minimal amount of time to craft. But nevertheless, I'm super excited, so let's jump into it. Last time I talked to you guys, I was working on a sweater called the Anars Sweater. And I believe last time I showed it to you, all I had left was the bind off on the body. And I did get that done and blocked it and everything, so it is finished. And I do want to show a really nice before and after shot of this sweater because I think blocking did it a lot of justice, which usually it does, but this time specifically because color work. And I had limited yarn, so I made it a little bit shorter than what I usually would have done, but blocking really helped it out a lot. But anyway, I will show you the before over here. Yes, and then let's switch to the after. Yeah, so it does a lot, and I will show you guys the actual sweater in person here as well. I don't know if I'll be able to try it on, but if you saw the picture, you've seen it on my body anyway. Because again, I have a puppy behind me and I don't think I can put this on. But here it is. This is a pattern by, the name probably would have been on the screen already for you to see it, but I'll read it off anyways. It's by Susanna Kaartinen, I think is how you pronounce it. And I did this with some like leftover yarns that I had in my stash. The dark green and the light green is Paton's Classic Merino Wool. The light green is in leaf green and the dark green is in bottle green. And then the contrast color with the light blues and stuff is a yarn that was gifted to me by one of my old coworkers. It's called Mountain Colors in the colorway Sagebrush. I don't know if you can find that anywhere. I'm not sure where he even got it. But yes, that's about as much as I can tell you about that. I made this size 4 and it has about 6-inch positive ease. I actually haven't measured that to see if that is true, but that 6-inch positive ease is what I should have gotten given the correct gauge and sizing. So yes. And I made this with a 3.75 millimeter for the stockinette part. And I did 4 millimeter for the color work, so I size up so that the gauge can be more consistent, so it's not a lot tighter up here versus down here. And then I went down to a 2.75 millimeter for the ribbing, so it's very tight ribbing, but which is really nice for worsted weight yarn, in my opinion, because the ribbing is a lot more like tight together and it looks a lot cleaner. I think it's actually twisted rib, half twisted rib. 1x1 half twisted rib. And then of course I did Italian bind off for all of it. I was gonna do a split hem for the bottom, but I decided not to. I usually like doing split hem, but I guess I just wasn't feeling it that time. So I did do some modifications for the sleeves. If you've been here a while, you know that I usually do that because I have to alter my sleeve length. I actually don't know if that means that I have a shorter like arm than most people or something. I don't know, but usually I have to modify the sleeves. So for this one, I worked it as instructed until I got to 56 stitches on the arms. I don't know, like I don't think that's giving too much away because I don't even remember what this pattern went down to. But yeah, I went to 56 stitches and then I started to I knit 3 rounds and I did the last decrease, which went down to 42 stitches. And then I did 12 rounds of half 1x1 twisted rib. I'm actually really happy with this how this turned out. I wasn't thinking that I was gonna hate it or anything, but this was literally just yarn that I had in my stash. I didn't know what to do with it. It was a very small amount for all 3 of these colors. Well, the sagebrush color actually I had 2 skeins of, and I knew I was gonna barely use any of it for this, but it made it to where the bottle green color would go further, because I don't think I would have been able to make a full sweater out of what was left of the bottle green. And so by going into my stash and picking out things that I knew would go well given the yarn weight and the colors, I was able to get a full sweater out of it, which I'm really happy about. Or else it would have just sat in my stash and never would have been used. So, and this is definitely my last like woolly sweater until the fall season. And I was really feeling unmotivated to work on it as well because I was getting tired of sweaters, especially worsted weight sweaters, because it's already warm here in South Carolina. I should have poured myself more water before recording. But I think that's really all I have to say about this, because I followed the pattern like pretty, I mean, other than the sleeves, you know. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think that the subtlety of the color work is really nice, and I'm going to shove it in my closet until fall time, but I'm excited to be able to wear it when it gets around to that time again. Anars Sweater. And I'm sorry if there's glare. There usually is glares in my glasses, but we work with what we got. And given that my living room, which is where I'm recording, is usually pretty like dark cave-ish because we only have a window and a balcony door with some windows on it, it's actually pretty good lighting in my opinion. Not too bad. So that was my first finished object. And honestly, that's... Oh, no, never mind. I was gonna say that was my only knitted finished object, but I also have another frog by Claire Garland. I have been on a frog kick lately, and here is this little cutie. This is, if you know Stefan, my first, technically my second frog I knit. He sits on my desk with me. This is his girlfriend, Mitch McConnell. Her name is Mitch McConnell because when I was, before I seamed the body together, the 2 layers just kind of looked squished together and the little lips like went over and it had like no chin. My husband said he looked like Mitch McConnell, so that's his name now. Anyway, I really like this pattern. I haven't switched up anything on needle size or whatever from the last time. I don't even know where in my notes here that pattern notes are. I've just been putting in the same part of my journal all my frog creations and just adding which yarns I used. And so I could sit here and try to find it for you guys, but I'm pretty sure I use what the pattern suggests. I used, yeah, I'm not gonna look for it. For the yarn, I can tell you the blue color is Knitpicks Stroll Gradient in the colorway Holla Greens. It's just something that I've had in my stash for ages. And it's like goes from a deep blue to like a teal color to a white color, and all I did was grab 2 ends of the bluish teal colors and held them together, so it's held 2 of them held together, and it created this really pretty like light and dark blue combination. And then the belly, I believe, it's the Juniper Moon Harriet Fine base that I used in my Baroque Nouveau sweater. Also held double. And as always, I stuffed them with yarn scraps. And I have these cute little safety eyes. I don't know which size this is, but she's a little cutie. She sits there with Stefan on my desk, and I really like her. One day I was taking a nap, and like as I was falling asleep, I was like, you know what? I'd really like a blue frog. And when I woke up from my nap, I grabbed the blue yarn and I went away and I finished it in one day. It's pretty fun. I went out on, so my husband and I are in the Clemson area. We both went to Clemson University, and they have a place called Bowman Field. And my husband goes and plays volleyball a lot there. And I finished up this little guy out there on Bowman Field. So yeah, that was my last knitted finished object. Set her up there. My next finished object is actually a crochet. Another one of those situations where I was like, I really want to knit one of these. So if you know the game Stardew Valley, there's these little creatures called Junimos. They're kind of like sprites in the universe, and they give like a little helping hand. They're in the community center before you fix it up. They're really cute little creatures. This pattern is by Nicole Bryant. I think, yeah, it's on Ravelry. I think it's a free pattern. I'm pretty sure. Super fun to do, super quick. Like I said, I finished it in a day. It's probably, not even a full day either. It was probably like 2-ish hours. And the hook size I used was a 3.25 millimeter hook. The main green color is one of back in the day Knit Crate. If you remember them, they had I think it's a mulberry silk wool blend in this really pretty green color. And then the black is just a like acrylic yarn that I had in my stash. And then this is like a speckled pink yarn that I had in my stash too, but I just took out the pink sections and it turned out really cute. Yeah, he's a little cutie. I recommend this pattern. I'm probably gonna make more. I think I want a yellow one and a red one maybe. I don't know. They're really quick to do and they're fun, so yeah. It's a quick little cute guy that I did. Okay, so that's all my finished objects that I've worked on. And I have my whips are, I don't know what I was about to say there. Let's get into them, I guess. Try and not wake this little guy up behind me. I did work on my Starflower blanket a lot. I'm not gonna try and unravel it, but because again, I don't want to wake him up. And the camera's a little bit closer than it usually is. But I have worked on it. If you haven't seen it, it's these really pretty lacy hexagons that you make. Of course, I would zoom in on a black one. You can't really see the details, but here we go. These really beautiful flower hexagons that you knit up individually, and then you crochet, slip stitch the hexagons together. I believe last time I checked, I have 62 of them done, I think, out of 88 full squares. And then there's 10 half squares to make the edges flat. So I'm pretty close to being done. I've used every single color of my Knitpicks sampler box at least once now. And I still am doing my random D100 dice roll to do the rest. But I can only do 2 hexagons per color. So once I finish a color for the second time, what I've been doing is I want to have a catalog of all these yarns. And so I take the label. I take the label that the little balls come with. These little balls come with. And I take a hole puncher and I punch a hole in the same spot. And then I take my 4 fingers and I wrap the yarn around, so there's 10. I wrap it around my hand 10 times, and it makes this little tiny bit of yarn swatch, and then I just loop it on the hole that I made. And so I know what the colorway is and what the color looks like. And I will have a bunch of little samplers for future reference. Yeah. It's been kind of a cute little fun thing to finish off whenever I get a hexagon done for the second time on each color. It's pretty cool. I like it. Where did I put that bobby pin? Oh, there it is. I've been keeping them held together with a bobby pin. I need an office clip. And if you're wondering, the hole punch size is... Oh, I thought this would tell me on it, but it doesn't. It's that size. Yeah. Pretty cool. So that's an update on my Starflower blanket by, I think it's Tin Can Knits. It would have already been on the bottom of the screen by now, but. And if you want to know more, like needle size and how I'm crocheting stuff together, once I'm done with the blanket completely, I will go over once again how I crocheted them together and like the needle size and stuff like that. But I'm not going to say it every single time. I think I've actually probably said it several times already. If you're curious, maybe you can go back in one of my old episodes and look at it, or you can just like comment down below, email me, contact me on Instagram, whatever, and I'll try to get that information to you. But yeah, that was my Starflower. And then the next thing, okay, so I have a knitted thing to show you and actually a cross stitch thing to show you. I will do the knitting one first just to keep consistent. So Instagram's been really good at influencing me on things because I've been on my phone a lot more than I would like to be recently because of the puppy. There's a lot of there's a lot of time in my life right now where I'm half paying attention to things because I have to keep an eye on him, and also it's kind of boring a little bit. So I usually just grab my phone, especially during the first like 2 weeks of him being a really young puppy. He still is, but like just got here puppy, getting used to things, getting into everything he can. It was just like constantly watching and trying to not be bored out of my mind. So yeah, Instagram has been abundant in my life. Anyway, I saw this scarf. I don't remember who even posted it, but as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted to make it because one, it looked simple and I could do it with the puppy around, and two, it's a scarf, and I really like rectangular scarves, but I have never made one. So I thought it'd be a really good opportunity. The pattern is Contra Corente by Antonia Cavaliere. And the yarn that I'm using is, of course, Knitpicks Upcycle Alpaca Blend in the colorway Night Sky. And this is, I believe it's 33% alpaca, 34% wool, and 33% acrylic. It's very pretty. When I saw the pattern on Instagram, it was in a really pretty blue color, but I didn't feel like I would get a lot of use out of a blue scarf, so I looked at Knitpicks' website, looked at the right weights, weight categories. I really like alpaca yarn, so this was appealing, and the color options they actually had 2 blue colors, and I was really considering getting one of them. But then I saw the Night Sky, and it's almost like a blue-gray, honestly. It does have a little bit of blue in it, but it's dark enough to where it could pull off as a gray color. It's very pretty. And lovely to work with as well. But this is the scarf. I'm actually almost done with it. It's worked corner to corner. So basically, if you don't know what that means, is every other row, every right side you increase at the beginning and you decrease at the end. And it kind of gives you you're going from the corner and you're going at a diagonal up, but it still creates a rectangular shape. Let me get it on the right side here. So it has this really pretty switching between stockinette, this cool detail of a chevron fading into a seed stitch. You can see the chevron pattern there, which is done in a way I've never, like, it's done with a technique I've never done before. I don't necessarily love it, but I don't hate it either. It's kind of just like I'm indifferent, but I've never done it before, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, so technically I'm working them like this. See how the chevron is diagonal? But you still get like a square scarf, like a rectangular shaped scarf. Look how beautiful that color is. And the texture is just so defined with the seed stitch with this yarn. I'm really enjoying it. I'm on the last stockinette section. I have some of the fiber in my mouth. And so I'm almost done with it. It's a very long scarf. I'm draping it over my neck right now, and sitting down, it almost touches the floor. So it's a pretty long scarf, but it's meant to be either just hanging long like that and draping over the shoulder like this, or the way I'm gonna wear it is to wrap it around like that. That. I really, really like straight scarves. I think they look very classic. They're very easy to just throw over your shoulder. I definitely don't need to use this right now, but I think it'll be a really good piece to bring out and already have done when it gets cold outside again later in the year. And again, I really just picked it because I thought that it would be easy to just do short rows back and forth while I'm watching the dog, which it has been. It's been really nice. It smells good. I love the smell of yarn. Oh, and I didn't tell you guys yet. I mentioned it on my Instagram, but I have this little this little stitch marker has been bringing me so much joy. So my husband and I have a debate on whether it is popcorn, a hash brown, or fries. We don't know. What do you guys think? I can't tell. But so I think it was actually the day that I was on Bowman Field making the Mitch McConnell frog. I found that. I found this little guy on the floor, not with the stitch marker part, but just like this part. And it was dirty and everything. I mean, it was just laying there on the grass. But I thought it was so cute. And so Tyler was like, why don't you just take it home and clean it? And so I did, and I made it into a little stitch marker. I just added one of these little earring clasps. I've done it for a lot of my stitch markers. Yeah, I love him. What do you guys think? Popcorn, hash brown, or fries? Anyway, it's the little things, am I right? Oh, I didn't tell you guys the needle size either. I'm using a 4.5 millimeter, which is 1 millimeter down from the recommended, which is right on track for me. I actually didn't measure gauge because it's a scarf. I don't actually know if I met gauge going down a millimeter or not. I just know that I liked the fabric that came out of going down a needle size. But yeah, enjoyable pattern, and I'm excited for the finished object. I probably won't even, I may break into this skein. I'm not sure. I may just have this skein left over and I can make a really pretty hat with it during the wintertime to match. It's so long. Okay. So next up on my works in progress is actually my cross stitch project. And so I actually told you guys, I think it was last time or the time before, that I was doing a diamond dot. It's not on brand, but it's the Michaels brand diamond dot thing for the winter time. And I was really wanting to do a cross stitch project, but I was using my organization box that I use for my cross stitch project for the diamond art thing. I was really wanting to do some cross stitching. And so I actually decided that I rolled up that diamond dots thing, and I'm just going to do it during the winter time, pick it back up during the winter fall time this year. But before I decided that, I still was like, I really want to do something, but I'm using my organization box for that. So I just decided to put all my stuff in a jar instead, since the project I'm doing is a monochrome sampler, and so I literally only have the one color that I'm using. So I just I have my seam ripper, I have my scissors, my bobbin with the thread, and my extra little tidbits go in there, and I have like a magnet to keep the metal piece of things easily accessible. It's just like a pesto jar that I cleaned out. And so I did roll up that diamond dots thing, and I won't be working on that until the fall. But I'm excited to show you guys my current project. I will pop up an image of what it's supposed to look like after I show you here, but I'll show you my progress on it first. I've never done a monochrome sampler before, but I've always wanted to because I think it looks very simple, very eloquent. And so I'm doing the Dragon Sampler Monochrome by DailyPatternPost on Etsy. So I finished the border. I did that first, and I'm currently starting on the tail end of the dragon. And this is really like florally dragon motif in the center, and I think it's really pretty. I picked out a bunch. I actually bought some that are like floral monochrome samplers that I'm going to do next if I'm not burnt out on cross stitching. But I asked my husband which one I should do first, and he picked the dragon, so that's what I'm doing. And the thread color I'm using, it's DMC thread color 823. It's just this really deep blue color. And here's what it's supposed to look like whenever it's finished, if you're interested. And again, I did find that on Etsy. Yeah, and actually I started out using a embroidery hoop thing while I was working on it, but I actually got really frustrated with how quick I was moving on because the border's not really much going on there, and I was like getting done and having to readjust the embroidery hoop so frequently I was getting tired of doing it. So I've been doing this without anything, without any hoop or snap frames or any kind of like fabric tightener. I've just been rolling it up where I'm not working on it and just like holding the fabric. This is 14 count Aida cloth from Walmart. It's stiff, so it holds its own. It's not like a linen where you need to have it tight so that you can see where to put your needle through. It's pretty standard, pretty simple to work with. So yeah, so that's really cool. I've been enjoying this a lot. My husband and I we have our Switch set up finally on our TV, and last weekend I worked on this a lot while we were playing Civ 6 while the puppy was like sleeping or playing or whatever. We would take turns playing Hot Seat Civ 6, and I would work on this when it was his turn. So it was really enjoyable. Nice memories made with it. So, which if you know me, you know I like having memories put in with certain projects. It just makes them more meaningful when I put them on the wall. I'm like, oh, I made that when we had the puppy, you know, and we were spending time with each other while the puppy was sleeping or playing, that kind of thing. Yeah, and what I do is like I said, I just roll it up where I'm not working on it, and then I have this chip clip with a magnet, and I just put my needle on the chip clip, so it's always there. Okay, that is all of my works in progress and finished objects, and I actually do have acquisitions and a plan for said acquisition. It just came in the mail today, which is why I recorded today and not like 2 days ago, because I really wanted to show you guys this yarn. So he just fidgeted a little bit. So if you watch my videos from last summer, I made a cardigan called the Kettle River cardigan, and it turned out perfect. I love it. I actually wore it last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and I love being able to wear it again outside. One of the reasons why I like that piece so much is because of the yarn, and it is using Hobby's Hobby Hobby, they're in their base New Arezzo. I think the colorway was Sand for that project. But as I said, I've been online a lot more and being influenced. This time actually I saw something on Pinterest that made me want to make it. Not the pattern I picked out, but it made me want to look at crocheted pieces, summer crochet pieces, full garments. I have not made a crochet garment in years because crochet is hard on my wrists, and so a full garment is quite a commitment for my body, and I've just kind of steered clear from it. Knitting has fulfilled a lot for me, and if not knitting, then usually crocheting does good, or if I'm cross stitch. If I do want to do crochet, it's usually something little like that Junimo. So it's been a while, but I think that this renewal in my love for crochet, because my friend has started learning, has given me enough motivation to tackle another garment and keeping in mind the limitations of my wrists. So it probably will take me a good bit, which is why I'm glad I'm starting now instead of when it's midsummer. But I'm really excited. So anyway, I saw a piece on Pinterest that was really cute. It was like a granny square, like a really lacy granny square vest that just tied in the middle. And I was like, I'd really like a piece that is crocheted and very like open and lacy that I could throw over my knitted bralettes or knitted tank tops, because I do plan on doing more of those this summer as well. So I was doing a lot of Pinterest searching, and I found the Michelle shirt by Crochet Treat on Etsy. And so I'll pop a picture up of that there. And I knew exactly which yarn that I wanted to use. It was the New Arezzo from Hobby. And I have it. Here it is. My husband picked out the color, and no surprise to me, it is a beautiful sage green. We are both absolutely obsessed with foresty sagey greens. So when he picked it out, I was like, yeah, I could work with that. So yeah, I got eight balls of this, and it should be enough. I know crochet uses a lot more yarn than knitting does, so but I'm always so impressed by Hobby's pricing. This, all 8 balls and the shipping, and I'm pretty sure they ship from overseas, like Denmark maybe, I don't know, but all 8 of these balls and shipping cost was like $31 US dollars. Not bad. Not bad considering 4 balls of this from Knitpicks, which ships from the US, was like $25. So scarf quantity versus crocheted garment quantity, not too bad, $31. Not that, I mean, I don't really like talking about pricing too much, because it's not about, I mean, it's the hobby I chose, and I budget for my hobby, and so like I know my limitations, and everybody has different limitations, but sometimes I like to brag about a pretty cheap but good yarn. You know, it's just a good feeling. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I haven't started it or anything yet because the yarn literally just came in. You bet your booty that I will be starting it when I get done here. Yes. So that's all my projects. That's what I've been working on. That's what I've finished. And if you just wanted to check in on all my crafting, then I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. I will try my hardest to make a end of May podcast or show and tell podcast, whatever. But I have quite a few life things going on. I'm going to the Georgia Ren Fair one weekend. I am going to the beach one weekend. So, we'll see. It may be in early June show and tell next time I see you. But anyway, regardless, thank you for sticking around. If you are going to skip out on the life stuff, if you want to see the puppy, then stick around. Before I show him to you, because he is still sleeping, I do want to like talk about everything that's kind of happened with my animal situation. If you watched last episode, you know that my older cat Ashley passed away in February, and then 2 months later we lost Lucy. She had something stuck in her intestinal tract, and it caused a lot of complications. And she was in a lot of pain, so we decided to, just let her go. It's really hard. I'm gonna try that again. Sorry, it's still really emotional for me, because I loved her so much, but anyway, when we lost Ashley, we had an open spot. We can only have 2 animals in the apartment. And so my husband and I decided that we could finally get a dog, which we've been wanting for a really long time. And so when we lost Ashley, we waited a couple weeks and we decided we were ready to have a dog. And so we looked up breeders for dachshunds, because that's the breed that we've always wanted. And we found one, and she had the perfect chocolate and tan dog for us, and we picked him out. He was only 2 weeks old. So we did have to wait quite a long time for us to bring him home, and we got picture updates every Monday, and it was really cool to seeing him grow. So we were waiting on Pixel to get, his name's Pixel, we were waiting on Pixel to get old enough to bring him home, and Lucy actually passed away the week before we were able to bring him home, which was a blessing and a curse, because we were worried about certain things with Lucy being a 12-year-old cat set in her ways, standing her ground, and a 8-week-old puppy coming in and wanting to be a puppy. But we were also kind of excited to see her make friends with a dog, so it's kind of, like I said, a blessing and a curse. So anyway, now we just have a dog, and I'll pick him up. Hey, buddy. So this is Pixel. He was sleeping, so he's very calm right now. Yeah. So I have learned a lot about the dachshunds, the dachshund breed already. I've had him for 4 weeks now. No, not even. He was 8 weeks when we got him, and he's 11 weeks now, so 3 weeks. And dachshunds are stubborn, very smart, which goes hand in hand. And they are very serious about their naps, their sleep. When he decides he wants to take a nap, he is taking a nap. You don't get any say in it. Did you hear my little baby? Yeah. He's a little cutie. He's got green eyes. And actually, his eyes kind of match that yarn I just showed you guys. Hey, buddy. Yeah. He has been such a good dog. Other than him chewing on certain things that he's been chewing on, but he's a puppy, so he'll learn. But he is almost completely like not like potty train, like letting me know when he has to go outside. But we have a little puppy like fake grass patch with like an absorbent fabric underneath it that I wash. And he has been really good about going to that when he has to use the bathroom, and I haven't like had the chance to bring him outside. And he knows sit, he knows shake, he knows how to switch paws, he knows lie down, roll over, he knows the command watch me. He just tried it just then. Indoors, he still has some work to do learning how to not be so distracted outside. But again, he's a puppy. It takes time. I understand that. But it's really nice that I work part-time and I have a lot of time on my hands to train him and work with him so that I know he's going to be a good dog later on. I do work part-time though, so there's like 12 hours out of the week where he has to be put in a crate, but he's been doing really good with that. So he is kind of crate trained, but he sleeps in the bed with me and my husband, so he doesn't sit in the crate at nighttime. We tried, but it didn't work. And we knew that we wanted him to be in the bed with us later on in life anyway, so we're okay with it. I know you're sleepy, buddy. Yeah. He's such a sweetie. What else? He's really good walking with me and my husband together. Not so good walking just one of us, on the lead especially. He's very defiant, as I said, stubborn. And, yeah, he's a sweet little boy. It's weird having a dog. I've owned just cats basically my entire life, other than my family dog, but I wasn't responsible for, like, training and making sure they didn't have an accident and stuff. Like, that was my parents' job. So, this is my first dog that I've had that I've been 100% responsible for, and it is just very different. As I've said before, or earlier, I have had to keep constant watch on him, and I know that's puppy stage, not dogs necessarily, but it's just very different. But I am enjoying it. He's, like I said, he's pretty smart. He's very sassy. He does the classic dachshund side eye a lot. Yeah, he wants down now, but so I will just give you guys one last look at the little boy, which is a cutie. Yeah, want to get kisses? Yeah. Yeah, I know. He's gonna go back to sleep, maybe. I probably have to bring him out. So yeah, that's what the big news was at the end of last episode. The big life news was that I was getting a puppy. Thanks for sticking with me through the whole Lucy thing. That was rough to talk through. I didn't think that would still make me that emotional after it's been 4 weeks. But she was my baby, so I look over there when I was talking about it because my mother-in-law bought me these cute little stained glass cats that hang in the window, and she got one for Ashley and she got me one for Lucy too, so they're up there. Yeah, he's going back to sleep. But, thanks for hanging around. Thanks for, bearing with my long gaps between episodes. I've always done just once a month videos, but I know that a lot of channels do special things in between or every 2-week things, but that's just not doable for me. And, I appreciate anybody that sticks around with the schedule that I have picked out. You guys know that I love you guys, and I can't wait to show you guys progress on the crochet top and the scarf when I finish it and everything. I think it's going to be a really good start to the spring knitting, crocheting, crafting season. Yeah. So anyway, if you want to see more of me in between, see little pictures of Pixel, you can follow me on my Instagram. I will link it down in the description box below. I also have my Ravelry down there and my email if you want to ask me any questions or whatever. That is all down there. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the upcoming season, whether that's spring or fall, and enjoying whatever that you are crafting. You know, it's a fun little outlet that I think that I share with a lot of you here. And I enjoy it, and I hope you are enjoying everything that you're making as well. And I will see you guys next month. Take care. Bye.